Is this all the... Is that all we have for enchanted bolts? Obviously you have the dragon variant as well, right? I think the dragon bolts have different effects to the standard ones, right? Same effects, but the base damage of the dragon bolt rather than like steel bolts. Right, so, but the diamond one's different, right? I'm pretty sure. Because with this one, enchanted diamond bolts have a 10% chance of triggering armor piercing. This increases the maximum damage by 15%, 26% under Zara crossbow, and for that hit, as well as becoming a successful hit. The maximum hit is calculated based on current range level, so if your range level is reduced by brewing down, your max hit will go down too. Right? But with this one, I could be wrong here, not only is your range accuracy ignored when the spec activates, but so is your range level. So if your stats are reduced by brewing down, you will still roll with guaranteed accuracy and 0 to 150% of your usual max hit. So the dragon ones on diamond it doesn't matter if you're brewed down, you can still hit. Like you could be brewed down to fucking 20 ranged and still hit the 115% of your max hit. I don't know if any other bolts have this effect though, but I know that the diamond dragon bolts ignore being brewed down. Now, a good content creator, a good tier list maker would go back and do the research and actually figure this out before educating you guys, but I can't be fucked. So with diamond bolts, we'll keep this in mind and be biased. Every other diamond bolt, or bolt here, assume it is both dragon and normal effect, and that's just how they are. And I'm gonna also have to pull these up because I don't know otherwise. Didn't actually know they were different. Yeah, well that's why I like taking enchanted diamond dragons to PKing, because if you've got a brew down, you can still hit really big, right? I know the opals hit higher than the diamond, but the diamond ignores your level if you've got a brew down and just want to like range while you're brewed down. It's kind of nice. Oh, here we go. Oh, there's a chart here. Look at this. So most of them are the same. See, it doesn't mention it here. Okay, but I'm not going to look into it. We're just going to assume they're all the same. But because of bias, and since we've now announced that dragon and diamond will be judged slightly differently. Anyways, we may as well start at the top with opal bolts. We have lucky lightning. Now these, the lightning bolt strikes the target, dealing extra damage, visible range level, multiplied by 10, rounded down. Basically, I believe these are without special effect, like I guess, oh no, because opals are, actually I don't know then. These are big for PKing especially. You really only use these PKing because I think these are the hardest hitting bolts on dragon bolts because they have the dragon bolt strength with opals. If you're not brewed up, so if you're potted on range, you can actually smack really hard with these. These are really effective, but literally only in PKing. And let's be honest, most of the people watching this, you haven't PK'd a day in your life and you'll probably never use these bolts. But these on dragon bolts are actually really strong, really high damage. They don't give the guaranteed hit though, but they do have a high max hit than diamond. So if you've got a few spare opal bolts hanging around, or bolt tips, why not just send it? Dragonfire can hit the highest, but you can negate Dragonfire in PvP, yes, which is giga cringe. So I'm gonna put these in B tier purely because the only problem, the reason they're B tier is because they're really only used for PvP, and you can use them outside of PvP, but you normally wouldn't. So they feel one-dimensional. They're great, but they only really work their best when you're potted, right, as well. So they kind of just have to sit in B tier. If they were more practical outside and people used them more, then that'd be great. But you guys are not using them. Like, most people don't unless you're PKing, so. And even then, you just use a bofa and fuck anyway. We have Jade bolts, which are these ones here. This is a rock slide, tumbles down on the target. Look at this. Look at the animation. Watch this shit. A rock slide tumbles down on the target, preventing it from moving for 5 seconds. Targets with higher agility levels are less likely to be affected. That's kind of funny. So basically, it's like a 5-second stun, which is pretty cool. Problem is, the higher your agility level, the less likely you are to be affected. So PvPers this will work great on because PvPers don't skill. Okay, so they're just going to get fucked. But because of the Rev Ks, that means Venezuelans, they're going to have the agility level. This isn't going to be very effective on them. So these become D tier bolts. Why the fuck would you ever use them? That is terrible. That's a cool animation. Actually, it gets C tier purely because the animation's badass. It even sits them on their ass. Look at that. It puts them on his fucking hole. That's fucking cool. So because of the animation, we will give it C tier. Next, we have pearl bolts. Damn, all these animations are actually sick. God damn, look at this one. It's like a waterfall. A mighty bolt of water splashes onto the target, dealing extra damage. This effect is negated by targets wielding water staves, but increased by fiery monsters such as dragons or targets wielding fire staves. Okay, but how much damage? Hold on. There's a 10% in... No, that's its likelihood to trigger. Adding 1/15 of the player's range level. Oh, that's fucking shit. Okay, no, that's terrible. 150. Yeah, okay. No, these are hot garbage. Put these. Can we just move these one at a time, please? Put this shit in F tier. That is garbage. Looks cool, but absolute horse shit. Topaz bolts. These ones are the Topaz. A pair of arms claw the player from underground, draining the target's magic level by 1. It's literally fucking... Look at this. Kitty fiddler hands. It just tickles your ankles. Those are garbage. Draining the target's magic level by 1. That's F tier. These are now E tier, just because they look cooler. That is a terrible... That might be the worst fucking bolts in the game. 1 magic level is disgusting. Elemental weaknesses before elemental weaknesses. Well, that's what the pearls bring, hey? Sapphire bolts, we all know what these do. Very good at the Phantom Musbar. Actually, we have some sort of use now in the game for PvM, other than PvP. These are... If you weren't using these on the Musbar before the Musbar came out, these were used purely just to scam cunts. Basically, if you were just death dotting and you wanted to like mega smite people in the wilderness because you were just being a rat clan, like Rot would run around using these when skull tricking, anti-PKing, or just straight up fucking clan dumping people. But these are now useful at the Phantom Musbar and make crossbows feel pretty relevant. Super fun to use, and it's nice to... I think the way that they are used in the Musbar is actually really nice. The way that you kind of want to flick smite on and off if you want to get super technical with it. These can be B tier as well. Okay? They go alongside the Opals. Emerald bolts. Poison gas appears around the target, applying 5 damage poison. That is shit. Ruby bolts. We all know ruby bolts. Ruby bolts, including including the dragon ruby bolts, and with the Zarek crossbow, putting up to, I think it was like 105 or 112 damage. I don't know what the numbers are. It's big. Okay, I haven't used the Zarek crossbow in a very long time. It's big damage, regardless of gender. Very big bolts. Best bolts in the game, arguably. One of the best, at least. Fucking great bolts. There's no denying it. And I think we can go the same for Diamond, as we were saying earlier. I didn't want to go through all the bolts because I don't care, but this is... the target's defense level is ignored, and the max hit is increased by 15%. And if you have them on Dragon bolts, it also ignores your range level. So like if you were brewed down, it would just act as if your range level was maxed and will still hit the usual max hit plus 15%, 115% in max hit or whatever. So because of that alone, that makes them S tier. I think that we knew that was going to happen. Like it's a no-brainer. These are S tier. These bad boys are going to be A tier, the Dragonstone bolts. Now these do have the highest max hit. A breath of Dragonfire strikes the target, dealing extra damage. Visible range level multiplied by 20% rounded down. But this is obviously negated by anti-fire potions, protecting mage in the wilderness, and being a dragon in general. Really good though on Basilisk Knights, especially if you're an ironman, and especially if you have good access to LMS, you can get these bolts. Really effective, really good to buy. But because they are hindered in PvP quite easily, for both anti-PKing and normal PKing, it's a pretty big weakness, but I mean, it's the main weakness of them. Don't take them PKing, in my opinion. It's not worth taking them PKing because it's very easy to counter them. Very easily counterable. Then you have the Onyx bolts. The player leeches the target's vitality, dealing 20% extra damage and healing the player by 25% of the damage dealt. Basically, these just fuck. Doesn't work on undead targets, that's fine. But the biggest benefit of these bolts, which we can all agree on, is that they out for like 9k Enchanted, which makes them the best bolts in the game. Absolutely. This is like S plus tier, okay? I'm going to put them in the middle there because they out for 9k each, and they're really good money. So regardless, there is always profit to be made when you get Onyx bolt drops. I mean, who doesn't mind going to Corp, not getting unique, but you get 175 of these fuckers? It's not a bad fucking day. They have the worst sound, doesn't matter. It's what, like, I mean, I guess it sucks alking the fuck out of them too, but it's big money. Where you use the bolts in PvM? Use them on, I mean, whatever you want, really. You just fuck with them, to be honest. But I think it's just more practical to use other bolts. I think, what are the proc chances of this? Oh, it's 11% proc chance. It's not too bad. 12.1% proc chance, sorry. That's not too bad, actually. They're super expensive to use, though, you know? That's why you just arc them instead. But that was a very quick rundown, but that's the bulk tier list right there. The Topaz and the Emerald are shit. Pearl is terrible, nothing in D tier. The only reason Jade isn't C tier is because it actually looks badass, put them on their ass. Sapphire and Opals are great, but limited to really just only PvP and only must bar and just scamming cunts. Dragonstones are too easily countered. And then Ruby Diamond, like we knew they were going to be S tier, and Onyx is out for too much money for it to be anything less than S tier best bolts in the game. Saving that, I've got another tier list to do, so don't go anywhere. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him, goddamn! Fuck me, look at that boy. It's huge!